welcome to the Nancy Stevens Arts and Style Show, where you can expect to be entertained, amused, and excited by my amazing guests, anyone who's anyone in the arts and style world. And a warm welcome to the Isolation interview with Michael Quinn, musical theatre leading man, producer, and now agent extraordinaire. Welcome, Michael.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for having me on.
It's a pleasure. But you didn't really have a choice because you can't go anywhere. I've been able to ring all my big star friends and go, "Can you do it?" They go, "Well, yeah, I have no choice. Can't say that I'm up the country on a tour."
Yeah, but it's funny actually. We spent most of today. I was in meetings, and then before this, I said to Patty and Presley, my little boy, I was like, "Should we go to Starbucks because the drive-thru's open?"
Yeah.
Like just to get out of the house to do something. So we sat in a queue at Starbucks for nearly an hour. That's how sad we are. We probably shouldn't have done it, but we did it. But whatever.
I know. I think it's got to the point where everyone's going a little bit stir crazy. But it's interesting. I was curious to see you have the bigger hair. You've got a massive quiff, and mine's filling the screen. You know, lockdown hair.
It is big. It is big.
Yours is looking good because presumably the last time I saw you were in Panto, and you had a quiff that needed its own postcode. This, you don't even need any help with this, do you?
Well, my wife has trimmed up the sides for me, and then this just keeps on growing now, but it's nice. It's almost like a big old comb over, isn't it? So
very Elvis. Yeah. It's very cool. So let's talk about your amazing career, what you've been up to in lockdown, which I've seen you all over the socials, and you've not stopped. Let's go back to the beginning. You've done so many you are literally Mr. Musical Theatre. You've done Jailhouse Rock, Disney's Beauty and the Beast, which I just talking about Beauty and the Beast. You were fabulous in Panto.
Oh,
absolutely stole the show. You were just so over the top baddie. It was fabulous. I loved it. And every time you came on, you know, all the girls and the guys went, oh, my friend I was with me, God, he's hot.
Was that because of my tights?
Yeah, they were quite tight tights, very tight tights. So yes, Beauty and the Beast. Obviously Joseph Farrow. I mean, you are born to play this. I've seen you do that with Lee Mead. I mean, you're like Elvis personified. You're like the original rock and roller, aren't you?
Yeah, I guess I've kind of been typecast throughout my career and fallen into that sort of Elvis category, which obviously I'm very fortunate at what I've done, and it's been amazing, but now I've kind of like broken away from the acting side. I think if I'd have done it again, I'd probably shaved all my hair off and not done so many Elvis roles, but I'd never grumble because it was an amazing experience doing every role I did.
And you did it so well. You've done Rent as well. Rent is one show that I desperately want to see. I've not seen that. Grease is the Word, ITV finalist. I remember that well. And of course, what you're best known for is Starlight Express, playing Greaseball in Germany.
Yeah,
tell us a little bit. Sorry?
That was the most recent sort of credit in a big musical. So
tell us about that, because I mean, Starlight Express is an extraordinary musical. It's so unusual. It's come up in a lot of quizzes lately. We had a bonus round for Starlight last week, and my sister smashed it. But it's so clever and it's so energetic. I mean, how do you manage to obviously learn your lines and be Greaseball and skate your ass off, basically? I mean, it's extraordinary.
It's an amazing experience. That the show's been running in Germany now for 32 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's up there with Phantom and Les Mis and all that. But it's an incredible show, and I have to admit, I think I told you about this the last time we did an interview. I was a Starlight fan always as a kid, kind of a bit of a weirdo fan as well. You know how you get like people that are like cult followers for stuff. I was kind of like that.
Okay.
So, I used to get the standing seats at the Victoria Apollo for £10 at the back. There was track, and like one of the guys famous for playing the role of Electra, Michael Rand, he used to come around to the back and do about 20 spins, and I'd be there holding onto the sides, go, oh my god, one day. And I was doing pantomime for Kudos in Newcastle. I was doing Robin Hood, kind of similar to the production you saw me doing Milton Keynes. And I landed the understudy role for Greaseball and to play the German train Rurgold. And I was like, nah. I went, if I'm going to do this show, I have to be Greaseball. So I turned it down, which was kind of like a really tough decision
Ooh,
for me.
brave.
Yeah. I turned it down, I walked away from it, and I was like, what have I done? I've just turned down like my dream show. And then actually, cut forward, I think it was like maybe 4 or 5 years later, I was doing Panto again in, what was I? Mansfield. I was doing Sleeping Beauty in Mansfield, and Debbie O'Brien, the casting director, got in contact and says, we need a Greaseball. Do you want to come and audition again? And I was like, yep, jumped on the train straight away. It was a weird audition though, because you go through many of these audition processes where you do like 6 or 7 rounds, dancing, singing, a bit of everything. I literally walked in, I met the musical supervisor. He filmed me on his iPad, and within about 3 hours, the big boss of the German production messaged me via Facebook.
Ooh.
This is hilarious, and said, we'd like to offer you the role of Greaseball. And I was like, I couldn't believe it. I'm like breaking down the train on the way back up to Mansfield.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and obviously my agent then helped me with a great deal. But I went out to Germany. You do a 3-month intensive skate school, and you're on like a probational contract, because basically if you can't cut it and you can't get to the end of the 3 months and get to the ability they need you to, they can release you.
Right.
So I mean, it was a crazy thing to do. As you know, my wife's a professional ice skater. So I'd come home and I'd say my feet are sore and they're bleeding.
She's like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, no, she was like, there was no sympathy at all.
No.
But no, she was mega supportive.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she was like, no, just crack on, get on with it. But not only are learning to skate, obviously, doing any normal musical, you have to learn all your material. And then also with that show, you have to learn it all in German. So
God, I forgot about that. Yeah.
I've got to sing. I've got to do it all in German, a brand new language to me. And rather than learning the language, you're learning the show. So you're phonetically learning the show, which I really struggled with. I found that the hardest thing. But it was by far the best experience I've ever had being in a show. Like, it was incredible, absolutely incredible. And it holds a very special place in my heart now.
Oh, that's such a lovely story as well. And let's talk about all the shows that you've created. I mean, you're like the master of creation in terms of putting shows together. And RollerBoys, the Dynamos, Galileo, The Greatest Show, The Skate Squad, etc., Jersey Quartet, West End Superstars. Where do these ideas come from? Or do you just think, oh, that's a concept and that will work? Or are you quite intuitive as to what's going to work?
Well, the first one obviously was the RollerBoys. So I was in Starlight. I had a company years ago when I was doing Joseph in the West End, with an actor called Ricky Rojas, who's actually in Moulin Rouge on Broadway now. But we kind of like went our separate ways because it was credit crunch was happening at the time, and we just weren't really in no sort of financial position. And then when I was doing Starlight, a good friend of mine who actually took over the role of Greaseball, his name is Matthew Goodgame. Do you remember what was the show? Musicality.
Oh yes, I love all. Yeah.
He won that years ago, right?
Yeah.
And he was playing Greaseball before me, and he said, "Why don't you should do the acts again like you were doing?"
Yeah.
So then I came up with this concept of the RollerBoys. It was actually another friend of mine who said, "Oh, what about another show on skates?" And I was like, "Yes, you're right, because there's nothing else like it."
No.
And obviously, with Patty being an ice skater, I was going, "There's got to be room to do something like that."
Yes.
And there was a charity day at Starlight in Bochum, and they let me put on the show for I think it was 8,000 people that turned up throughout the day, and we charged like €2 a ticket. It was nothing. But then the big boss at Bourne Leisure, they own Butlins, Pontins, Warner Holidays, all those. They contacted me and said, "Oh, we'd like to fly over and see what you've done." I couldn't believe it. And within about a month's time, they turned around and offered me about 100 dates at Butlins, doing Bognor, Skegness, and Minehead. And that's kind of what started my company, or started Michael Quinn Productions. And if it wasn't for Butlins, then I wouldn't be where I am now with the company. And they helped, obviously, because of everything being financed for the show, for the RollerBoys, we put everything back into the company and started creating more content. You've got to put in to get out, right?
Absolutely.
And so from then, I just kind of, I'd see what UK tours were going on and what was popular on like the tribute market and different stuff like that, and started creating content mainly for a lot of corporate stuff at first. We did the Jersey Quartet before lockdown. We started doing a bit of a theatre tour, and we went to the Horsham Theatre, which was brilliant, and sold it out. It was great, actually. I was going to grab a little flyer, but there's not one there. So yeah, we've got so much content, and the most important thing about the company is that we've got an amazing team behind us, like choreographers, and I've got a musical director called Darren John. He was a musical director on Madagascar last year on the UK.
I love Madagascar. I love it. It was such a surprise hit for me. I mean, I love the film anyway, but it was such a joyous musical. I mean, who doesn't love a bit of King Julian? I mean, hysterical.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Well, Darren was in that. He was like a principal swing / musical director.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, so I've had like Darren, and then obviously Patty, and lots of other people that I've worked with in the past, which has come together, and I've now got this core of incredible creatives that help me do everything, because I don't do it on my own, obviously. I just couldn't do it. So now we're sat on a load of content.
Which you just want to get out there.
Yeah, and unfortunately, at this time, I'm not feeling sorry for myself because everyone's in the same boat. It's a bit of a numbing feeling, but that now I'm kind of sat here in lockdown, creating more content and working on other projects.
Absolutely. And the RollerBoys, you've definitely capitalized on the RollerBoys in terms of being really useful in the community. And I've seen lots of press coverage about them doing deliveries. I mean, that was such an inspired way of A, helping people in the community, and B, getting your name out there. Kudos to you. No pun intended.
Oh, it's been really, really nice. The whole idea came from a friend of mine who was like, you should do like Meals on Wheels. When they were trying to help everyone out with the deliveries. I was like, that's brilliant, because there used to be that Meals on Wheels company.
Yes, yeah.
Everyone said Meals on Wheels. I remember my grandma saying it. And so we were like, you know what, we should, because I've got a friend, one of the main RollerBoys, Cyrus, he lives in Aylesbury. And I'm here in Milton Keynes. And obviously we wanted to do something in sort of like the Buckinghamshire area and give back to the community. And then Andy Collins, who you know really well, he got involved and started doing stuff for us on the radio. Lavoie has given us shout outs. We had, oh my goodness, what's his name? Toby Anstis from Hearts. Patty ice skated with him. He was doing a shout out to people from Love Island and Ray Quinn, loads of people that are just really supporting us. It was so nice. And one of the most rewarding things out of the whole thing is that we did some charity work for the Henry Allen Trust. And for anyone that doesn't know what the Henry Allen Trust is, they support children with cancer. And
yes, Dawn Allen's son, really inspiring story.
Amazing, and she is the most amazing woman, and the whole family actually. And it gives me goosebumps just talking about it, because they're an incredible charity, because it's all run by volunteers, and it's a very small charity in this area, but we now hopefully can spread the name a bit more. And as you know, the RollerBoys just did Britain's Got Talent. And
they got 4 big fat yeses, didn't they?
Yeah, I don't often blow my own trumpet, but we smashed it. It was brilliant.
It was. So what happens next with that then? Because obviously those were the auditions. So I guess you've got to wait to see when they can.
Yeah, we're kind of in a bit of a limbo, because no one knows when the recordings is going to happen next. And for anyone that saw Britain's Got Talent, what they did is they kept a lot of the content for after the show as well, so they could still release stuff. So we weren't actually on the main TV show. We were released on all their social media platforms. If you go onto YouTube, just type in the RollerBoys BGT.
I did, yeah.
It's on there, and we approached it with a slightly different concept, and we added 1 extra guy, so there's 5 guys in it. We made the music like one of our shows. It's a lot more commercial, so it's a big Bruno Mars medley.
Yes.
But you know how all these shows are. There could have been a lot more exposure for us. They edit things and do something. They were amazing with us, don't get me wrong. But the nice thing is we went on there, we got some amazing exposure, and we'll see what happens. The best thing is that all 4 judges said yes.
Yes.
Simon Cowell loved it. He said the best audition he'd seen that year in Manchester, because we auditioned in Manchester, and then we had the standing ovation from the whole theatre. It was incredible.
Oh, that must make you feel so proud. I mean, your resourcefulness just blows me away, though. So yeah, so the agency that you've got, you know, Michael Quinn Management Agency as well. So you know, you've got your shows, you've got productions, you're representing artists as well. I mean, that's like, have you made a conscious decision to maybe step back from acting? Because obviously you did Panto, you were brilliant in Panto. Is this the way forward for Michael Quinn now, less performing and more creating?
I think so. I mean, listen, I'm not gonna. If the right role came along, then.
And we need to see you in those tights again with a big quiz.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be doing Panto for UK Productions again this year, but no one knows what's going to really happen yet.
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing the same role actually, possibly in Basingstoke. But I probably shouldn't have said that, but it's fine. But we'll just see. I think, you know, the main reason we came back to England, we lived in Germany for 4 years, is because my wife obviously wants her skating career back. She's obviously done Dancer on Ice for the last 2 years, and she's going to do coaching, hopefully. And I find it so rewarding now being able to give back. I've kind of like ticked off all my shows that I wanted to do on my bucket list. So I was so fortunate. And now, as you mentioned, as you brought it up, in February, I decided to open my own agency. And that's something I've always wanted to do since I was at college. And it's called Q Management Agency. It's just the Q. And we look, it's very small at the moment. It's quite boutique. We've got 10 actors and 3 creatives. Really, really great people on there. One of them you probably know really well, Daniel Johnson, who's he's one of the guys from the Postcode Lottery, who was on the X Factor. We look after Lydia Lucy, who was on The Voice and the X Factor.
Right, I saw her in Panto the year before last. She was in Panto with my son Benji in Northampton. Yeah, fabulous girl.
She did it there for quite a few years, actually, I think, Northampton.
Can't remember
She is like, for her, for example, for me, she just blows my mind vocally. And I kind of sit there and go, why are you not playing Alphaba? Or why are you? And she's always done the music route, and now I'm trying to help her do some other stuff. She was touring with the, you know, AJ Pritchard.
Yes, yeah.
She was the main vocalist on his tour, and I think she's going to do some more dates after lockdown.
Oh, that's good, yeah.
So she was doing that, which is great. And yeah, it's just so lovely now to be able to work with artists. And I always felt as an actor, nearly all the agents I was with, I always found them quite intimidating and not very approachable. I'm not saying about all of them, because some of them are great for me, and I won't say any names. But I want to hopefully be able to, you know, I feel like I've touched on every aspect of the industry, whether it be West End shows or cruise ships or tours or reality TV shows. And now I know how I wanted to be treated as an actor. So hopefully I can treat them how they want to be treated and give something back, which would be really nice.
And that's such a lovely thing to say, because as you say, you know, agents do have a reputation for being quite intimidating, and you know, you want to people not to maybe, not that you had a bad experience, but to go through a different process to what you had to go to, and you giving people performers and creators a platform. And you know, we've had this discussion numerous times. What an incredibly competitive industry this is. I mean, my son's son's first year at Addict, you know, doing dance, and he's loving it. Obviously lockdown has paid to any of that, but you know, it's really tough. I mean, for you, I mean, I've spoken to so many, I've done, you know, quite a few of these isolation interviews with, well, all of them have been with creatives, and the thing that struck me is that you know, this is your lifeblood, you know, and it's suddenly been just taken away. And I think you're all handling it incredibly well and being really sort of upbeat in a really potentially dark situation. But you know, everyone is turning to sort of their more enterprising side, and because you're having to be versatile, aren't you? You can't just be, even in real life before coronavirus, you know, it's not enough just to be an actor, you know, you have to be an actor, musician, dancer, and play an instrument now. So the fact that you've done all these things and you're doing all these things is it's very heartwarming. And you know, I'm very sort of, just lovely to talk to you about something that you're just, you're giving this back because of, you've been through it all, you've done it all, and now you want to give something back, and that's a lovely thing, especially in the industry now, I think.
Yeah, well, I just think, no one's asking us to feel sorry for actors or anything like that, but we're in the same boat as everyone else, and we get it. It's just with whether it's leisure and tourism, so many different sides are affected, aren't they? But for us, without theatres and without venues, we don't have a livelihood. So we're all trying to hold on as much as we can. And I hope you don't mind me mentioning, Nancy, but there's an amazing charity called Acting for Others.
Oh, no, do go ahead.
If anyone watches this, they're doing incredible things to give back to actors, and I'm working on a few projects in the future, getting involved with charity stuff for them as well. And just check it out. Acting for Others is a brilliant, brilliant charity.
I mean, we should, absolutely want to support anything to do with the arts, because it's, in normal times, it's hard enough in terms of lack of funding, but in the desperate dire straits that we find ourselves in, now it's just, we need to. I mean, I think I saw something like 1/3 of people go to the theatre. I can't remember the statistics of it. The more people go to the theatre or go to Panto a year than go to football matches. That's all been taken away, and I don't think people realise how integral the arts are. Whether it's Panto, that's your first exposure to going to the theatre, or singing in a school choir, or whatever it is. It's vital, and the government really need to put some funding in and help the arts, because this country without the arts it's not the UK.
No, and I think it's really important to remember as well. Like, you take somewhere like the Milton Keynes Theatre, which I work for. I work for the Creative Learning, and I also work as a casual crew member. So, and a lot of people go, "What? You're doing that and producing and being an agent?" But I love everything to do with that theatre. Everyone in it, all the crew, all the front of house staff, the management. They've got the most amazing manager, Emma, there. They're all amazing. And people probably just go, "Oh, the poor actors." Well, no, there's people there that are proper furloughed right now, so they're not completely out of pocket, but they're the ones that make all the magic happen as well. Not just the people on the stage, and that's really, really opened my eyes the last 2 years working there now, and making some of my best friends who are now crew members or working front of house or whatever. It's amazing. So you think there's hundreds of people that work in these theatres all over the country.
I know. It's absolutely heartbreaking. So you may or may not have some news for me. You may have some news or not.
No, bad spoiler alert. Oh wait, I'm checking my messages. No, I haven't yet.
No. Okay, no, don't worry. We can show. We've got other exciting stuff to talk about. We can talk about this at another point.
Yeah.
So that's I'm going to get an exclusive.
All I can say is I'm working on a really exciting project. As always, there's like so many branches to what I'm doing, but I'm going to give you the exclusive on it as soon as I'm allowed to.
Thank you. Very exciting. That's brilliant. Yes. No, I'm looking forward to that. So how can we find out about you, and what are the next 3 or 4 months hold for Michael Quinn?
Well, obviously I'm on all social media platforms, whether it be Instagram or Twitter, Facebook. I've just started TikTok.
Oh my God, TikTok's so time consuming. It took me all afternoon to do one stupid Mamma Mia video. I told her, Mum, you shouldn't be on TikTok. You're so embarrassing.
No, there's so many adults on it now. It's funny. I'm at Quinn and Son on it. It's like I set it up for a laugh first. Like
I shall have a look.
Life of the Quinn family, Michael, Patty and Prezi. But I put up one video of Greaseball the other day, and it's had 413,000 views.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was amazing. It was just my Greaseball entrance on TikTok. Yeah. And then it turns out that there seems to be a lot of Starlight fans on TikTok, because I was adding a few more videos on there, and I think that's the new way to go, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, for you, but not for me. I say it's not for me. I mean, I've learned a lot. I think we've all learned a lot in lockdown. You know, different skill sets, and we had to become sort of quite enterprising. But yeah, I tried TikTok. It was too time consuming. But I've learned to edit Instagram videos, and I feel like, and I've set up a YouTube channel. So I'm going to give a plug to my YouTube channel. This obviously this video will appear on my YouTube channel. So Nancy Stevens Arts and Style. But yeah, so things that I remember my eldest saying to me, "Oh, why have you got a YouTube channel? No one your age has it." And I said, "All the more reason to have one."
And also, he's completely wrong. Sorry, he or she.
He, the eldest, not Benji, the eldest. Yeah.
You should have a YouTube channel. Why not? It's great.
Yeah.
Get the messages out there and help people. I've seen your style videos as well. They're brilliant. So.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Apart from that, you know, we're busy creating more shows, believe it or not.
So next year you're going to be really busy then.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. Yeah,
I think it's laying the foundation, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, obviously we do a lot of work with cruise ships, making shows on ships. So we're busy, me and my team, creating stuff for that, and just doing lots of different bits. And I don't know if you know, but I also used to teach at occasionally at Dance Box.
All right. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not doing so much there because it's more of a full-time thing.
Yeah.
At the college, so I'm just really, really busy. But as lockdown is still on, we're about to release. I'm going to be starting to do some sort of musical theatre masterclasses.
Oh, okay.
Really based in this area, Milton Keynes.
Okay.
More private stuff when the lockdown lifts off a little bit. Maybe some one-on-ones on Zoom, sort of acting through music. And I've never really offered that throughout the lockdown, because there was so much of it going on. But I thought,
yes, good for you. Yeah.
Make it more of a thing in the area that we can then take from Zoom to maybe then doing private classes after. It's something that I'd like to do here.
Awesome. Just many strings to Michael's bow. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. Just my wife. It's my wife saying work.
Work. Yes, absolutely. Michael, Quinn, an absolute joy and pleasure as always. We could chat for hours. Thank you so much. I will watch, Britain's Got Talent and see what's going on with the RollerBoys and your continued success, and hopefully Panto. So thank you so much for being an amazing guest. Thank you for listening to the Nancy Stevens Arts and Style Show. Passionate about all things arts and style. Catch us on all major platforms and YouTube, Nancy Stevens Arts and Style Show.